You're listening to the Epically Geeky Show, a place for all things geeky.
Welcome back to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 61. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, given the choice, would you go with Peeps, Cadbury Eggs, or Chocolate Bunny, Cyrus Martin?
Peeps? What is that?
You know, those
what do you mean, what
those
is
little
that?
Marshmallow.
Everybody knows what Peeps
It's a
are.
peep.
Get out of here.
What are you saying?
Well, I probably know what it is, but I don't know the name. Like,
I don't
what
know
is-
Okay,
why,
they're
but
marshmallow.
him
They either
asking
look
that
like a
question
bunny or like a
so
little
angry.
chick, and they're bright colored, usually yellow or pink, and they're basically like this marshmallow sugar.
It's a fucking Peep, dude.
Oh Jesus!
Well, I'm sorry.
You know
God,
what?
everybody's back
We will
on
come
That
back.
made me angrier than anything you've ever said.
Laney, which would you pick
why.
of those three?
Well, you said Peep, Chocolate Bunny, and what else?
Peep,
Cadbury
Chocolate
Egg.
Bunny, or Cadbury Egg?
Ooh. Peeps out. I'm not into Peeps. Even though I really like marshmallows. Peeps are like marshmallows with like more shit on them.
Mhm.
I like I think just a good old fashioned Chocolate Bunny.
Cyrus. That is a
Oh.
Peep.
You dummy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
Okay, now anyway, you were saying, Laney.
So I think a good old fashioned Chocolate Bunny, because the thing about Cadbury eggs is like I always start them.
Mm-hmm.
I never finish them.
They're too
Yep.
sweet.
It's too sweet. There's too much in there. And they look so cute. And I love the commercials. That stupid commercials made me laugh like an asshole since I was 5. When the lion does it, it's just so funny. Yeah, I don't know why. But yeah, I think a good old fashioned Chocolate Bunny.
Alrighty. Chris. Peep, Cadbury Egg, or Chocolate Bunny?
Okay, so Peeps are gross. And
facts.
Cadbury egg is too much. Like I used to be able to eat them when I was a kid. I had a higher sugar tolerance. So I will take a chocolate bunny, but it has to be solid. The hollow bunnies, I feel like I'm being
Are
lied
bullshit?
to.
Oh,
So
wow.
solid-
Really?
Yeah, I hate hollow chocolate bunnies.
Little bougie there. Gotta have the solid.
It's chocolate.
Oh.
I will be bougie if I want to be.
There you
That's
go.
fine.
Parker, where do you come down on this?
I am right there with you. It's got to be solid, and it's got to be dark.
Ooh,
Yeah, but you're
dark
Hey.
and solid.
Parker.
Parker. Okay.
You gotta bite your
Yeah.
bottom lip when you say it.
Yeah.
Bite your bottom lip.
It's got to be solid and girthy all the way around, not hollow.
That's my problem with the Cadbury cream eggs is, you feel like, what am I? Oh, it's all over my chin. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Cyrus.
God. you
All
guys
right,
are-
Cyrus. Now that you know what a peep is, what is your answer?
Not that one.
Sorry,
I'm
we're
going
off
with
the
the,
show in 5 seconds.
I'm going with the chocolate bunnies because I dig the chocolate bunnies.
All right.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Hey, I'm not particular. I'll
Really?
take it.
I think it depends on
wow.
the brand.
Look, some people can make some people have the luxury of being specific. Some of us take what we can get. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
this is a hypothetical best case scenario. Is what we're talking about here.
Hypothetical best case scenario
Yeah.
is beyond my ability to comprehend at this point. I'll take what I can get. Give me the generic dollar store chocolate bunny at this point.
Yikes.
Wow.
No, seriously, the solid chocolate. I don't even know where do you find those anymore. Like everything's hollow.
Special
Everything
I
is
just
hollow.
bought one for Quinn.
Actually,
Yeah.
and I have something to bring up on that one. So, my answer on this would probably be, mine's definitely got to be chocolate bunny. Peeps are just like I can eat one, maybe two. And those people who are like, oh yeah, I like Peeps, and I like to sit them out for like a couple of days so they get kind of stale. I'm like, what the? fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yes, there are. I know
You
people that
sick
are.
fuck.
Cadbury
It's
eggs
gross.
are one of the few candies that I can't eat because it is generally too rich. Like, people are like, oh, that's too rich. I just can't eat it. I've yet to ever find a cake that I'm like, oh, that's too rich. I can't eat that. Oh, fuck that. I'll tear into that thing. But Cadbury egg is one of the few things I'm just like, nope, can't do it. A friend of mine actually posted a picture about a week ago. His wife went to Target and got a chocolate bunny. It wasn't solid chocolate. It was filled with
Peanut butter. Say
with
peanut butter.
peanut butter.
Oh
Reese's
God,
peanut butter.
yes.
And it
That sounds
weighs
so-
I got one for
pound.
Logan. A Reese's peanut butter bunny.
It is a
Hell yeah.
pound of chocolate and
Can
peanut
I-
butter.
Can I say something controversial?
I know we already know your stance on this. You feel like the ratio of peanut butter to chocolate is off on anything but the original cup.
Yes, I do feel that way. Also, I just fucking don't like the Reese's peanut butter. I want it to be like, it's too solid. I want it to be like more like creamy, like
Creamier?
yeah, like
oozy.
not
Up to this-
oozy, like still like, well, because have you ever like taken like a dollop of peanut butter and just like put it on your spoon? Like it's pretty solid,
Right.
you know, it doesn't like drip off. But I want it to, I like the mouthfeel better when it's like a little bit softer and a
Have
little
you
creamier.
tried heating up your Reese's cups in a
Yes,
microwave?
jackass, and it doesn't change anything. So I thought you were being
Actually,
smart
I was
aleck.
gonna suggest the
Whoa.
same thing. I'm sorry.
No, it's something like
Holy
there's
shit. Fuck me, right?
I'm really sorry. It's just something I'm really
Yes,
passionate about.
jackass. I have tried that.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I thought you were being sarcastic. No, it's
I mean,
it's
yeah,
it's
fair enough.
like the actual peanut butter. There's not enough moisture in it. I want it
I
to be
can
like
see
real
that.
peanut
I can-
butter.
I can see that statement. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Look, the point is, Lainey has very strong opinions.
I really do about stuff that is dumb, but it's still a strong opinion.
Uh,
Fair
we
enough.
don't have to agree with her horrible opinions, okay? They're
No, we
hers. And she's entitled to have them, no matter how insane or completely mistaken she is.
America.
All right. With that,
Shut up.
since we've kind of gone down a rabbit hole on the topic of peanut butter and chocolate, that brings us to our main topic for the night. Cyrus actually kind of pulled this one out on the fly earlier this week. Tomorrow is Easter, and when he suggested it, was like, that's a perfect topic. So
You didn't go with the pull it out of your hat.
Stop it.
You didn't-
No, I totally missed. Oh, I failed. Damn it. All right, we're going to redo the show starting over in 3. No, just play. No, but the topic he brought up was rabbit holes. And we commonly refer to them as rabbit holes, rat holes. Those are those things that you enjoy doing, but for fear of losing sleep, losing the day, losing hours upon hours upon hours of your day, of your time, you try not to do it. And generally they're small things. They just kind of suck us in, and all of a sudden, next thing we know, we look up and it's like, oh my God, it's been 4 hours. I should have been doing shit instead of doing whatever this was. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and offer it up to the group. Who would like to comment or talk about their first rabbit hole they have to kind of be careful not to fall down?
I'll go.
I think. Oh,
All right, Chris.
go, Chris.
Okay. My thing, especially right before I go to bed, which is bad to do, is movie trailers on YouTube. Because they're only like
Really?
1.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes. It's like, I can watch another one. And it's
Parker does
2:30 in
that
the
too.
morning, and I've watched like 30 of them.
Oh my
I
God.
can't
Yes,
help
I can
it.
see that.
Yeah. That's
Heard
a
that.
bad one for me.
Yeah,
I
love
that's
that.
really hard, especially depending on the time of the year. Whenever a lot of like good trailers start hitting,
Yes.
you're right. It's just like
Sometimes that doesn't even happen. I watched one video, and then on the side, it's like recommended for you, and I'm like, ooh, what's that?
Is it ever like
then it's
Chris?
bad.
Did you ever have the issue if it's not even like a current movie trailer? It's like an
No, it's
old
like
movie
from-
trailer.
Yeah, it's like 2012 or 2005, and I'm like, I've never seen this before.
right
Let's
now,
click on
someone
this.
at Google is writing down. They're like, we got Chris's number. We got this
Yep.
one done.
That's all it takes, people. I don't have much of an attention span.
No, that's okay.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I've done that before too, so I completely understand that one. So
Then
Yeah.
Ray gets mad at me because I've watched 30 of them. I wound up watching something that he wanted to show me, and I'm like, oh, I already watched that. He's like, oh. I'm like,
But
dude.
okay, answer me this, because I have the exact same problem. But how many of those movies do you actually plan on ever seeing?
Oh, none of them.
Yeah,
Not
exactly. You just
really. No. I feel like I get enough of the movie
Yeah.
in the 2 minutes.
exactly, because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I know.
Oh,
what
but
the movie's
hey,
about. I know what this movie's gonna do,
Yeah.
and I
You-
just Move
You ever
on.
watch those really old trailers from like the 60s? Like
60s, yes.
A
they
couple of
really
them-
do.
Oh my
They
God,
tell you
yes.
the whole fucking
Yes.
movie.
Plot
Like,
like plot point by plot point.
I
It's-
like the voiceovers because that doesn't exist anymore. The voiceovers are my favorite.
Yeah.
The
this is Bill. Bill lives on the range. Bill's
Yeah.
got a pro- It's like, okay, I'm watching the
And there's
Well,
always like a
Mary,
weird
the
monologue
neighbor
at the
moves
very
in.
beginning of it.
Yeah.
yeah, go back and watch
Yeah.
the trailer for the original Ghostbusters. It's
Ghostbusters.
literally Ghost.
Yes,
They
It's
tell you
they're
exactly
real.
what's happening.
Okay. This is a thing. What's going on here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Like there's
Literally.
no ifs, ands, or buts. Are these guys trying to figure out if there's paranormal activity? No, it's just literally ghost. They're real. They're
Yeah.
they're in your house. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually wanted to do an episode where we go back and watch some old movie trailers and talk about them because you're right. They give everything away. It's almost
Oh, that's
it's
a
almost
great
I
idea.
love that
and
idea.
it's almost
Yeah.
like the trailer is done. Like the trailer has a first, second, and third act in the damn trailer.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
complain about trailers nowadays, but the 80s and 70s were
So bad.
so,
Yeah.
other than a couple
So
few
bad.
exceptions, like Alien has the best trailer ever made, ever.
I'll have to go back and watch that one. I don't remember.
Watch the original Alien, not a single word is spoken. It's just, it's great.
We've gone down a rabbit hole.
Sorry.
You're absolutely
See?
right.
Oh, it's Inception. The rabbit hole within a rabbit hole show.
Rabbit hole. Yeah.
Is that what Inception's about? I actually don't know.
Kind of.
That's
Not really,
exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Anytime anything's super meta, I call it Inception.
Inception's mainly about like these people who just can't stay awake. They're constantly sleeping all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I like
Them falling off bridges
Why
and
wasn't
stuff,
that on
Then wake them up.
your explanation? You see, you just nailed one of those oversimplified
yeah,
movie plots.
people can't
Cyrus.
stay awake.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
movie about a bunch of people who can't seem to stay awake. Inception.
Narcolepsy.
Isn't that also a
Narco-
Fred
Yeah, a
Narcolepsy.
bunch of people with narcolepsy.
Yeah.
All right, Lainey, what's one of your rabbit holes you have to watch out
So
for?
one of my rabbit holes, is I'm not super proud of this, but one of
Ooh.
my it's not like that. Never mind. One of my rabbit holes is like whenever I hear about any kind of like a scandal or anything like tawdry or whatever that's gone on, especially in like a celebrity's life, I like to Google it, and then I like to go on a Wikipedia rabbit hole and just fucking find out every fucking thing I can about the situation and the celebrity and what happened before and what happened after and who else was involved. And then I go look at their Wikipedia pages and read all up about them. That's how I learned about the huge, horrible feud between Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. This was years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
so
It
when
wasn't
this,
lately?
no,
But they both showed up to the Denny's at the same time.
Yeah, right?
Like,
that's how I knew as much as I did before this show came out. So I was really excited when they did the feud series on FX.
Oh, was that good?
It's super good.
Yeah.
It's super, super, super good. I really like it. I didn't think I was going to like anything Ryan Murphy did ever again, but he surprised me.
Was that Jessica Lange in it, though, right?
It does. I love it. It's actually really good. But I do that. Like, I'm really bad about that. Like, I've done that with, I think, pretty much every celebrity I've ever liked. I've done that with Carrie Fisher. That's how I found out about the fact that she was married to Paul Simon and that her ex-husband turned out to be gay and all kinds of stuff. Like, and I don't know why, because it doesn't actually serve any real purpose other than it just, like, quenches my need for useless knowledge.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is
Okay, I
fair enough.
understand that.
It's weird, but, like, and I feel weird doing it because it always hits me, like Chris said, right as I'm going to bed. And I'm like, I wonder about, and then I just start.
I do that
it's
too, Lainey.
horrible.
By the way,
It's so stupid, and I feel like it's probably not good for me. Like,
I do it too, though, especially if I'm watching a show and I don't know the actors. I'm like, ooh, Wikipedia.
yeah, it's stuff like that. It's like, who's this person? Oh,
Yeah.
what 50,000 things have they been in? Oh, they had a drug scandal. Let's read about it.
up on that.
Let's
Okay.
find 15 different articles on Google about it and read
Yeah.
all of them.
They don't have Amazon Prime Video in Canada, do they?
I don't know.
Okay, the reason I ask is because apparently, if you watch Amazon Video, Prime
Yes.
Video on the
It has
computer,
the
as you are watching it, if you hit pause, it comes up on the screen and tells you who all the actors are currently on and all this other stuff, and then
the
they are
music in the
clickable
background.
links.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's a thing I'm really bad about too. Oh my god.
You don't even have to pause it. You can just mouse over it, and whoever's on the screen at the time, there's a box, or if the music's playing, it'll tell you the who's playing the music. It's
I
so
would
awesome.
miss everything. I'd just be reading everything on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, you would
that's why you
never
have to
finish
pause.
anything.
You have to pause it, or
Oh,
you'll get
that's so
lost.
distracting.
Yeah, so that, but as soon
I
as
do
you
that
said
now
that, I
with
was
my
like,
phone.
oh my god, that's like, yeah, that would be
It's
like
the
your
best.
dream / nightmare at the same time.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Cyrus, what is one of the rabbit holes you have to watch out for?
Well, this one's particularly applicable when me and my brother get together, and that's movie quotes.
Oh god.
That
we
does not surprise me.
we are really bad about especially when we used to work together. We worked together for years, and I would just for no fucking reason throw out a quote from some movie, and I know the movie, he knows the movie. We don't have to say. We already know. We'd laugh, and then he says something, and then I say something, and it's like random, but it's funny. Like, you have to know somebody really well for this to work, I guess. But we just go down this fucking rabbit hole that lasts like hours of us just randomly coming up with these quotes, making each other laugh, that we remember these random small little lines from movies,
And you try to get more
It's
and more
hilarious.
obscure as you go on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know someone else that does that.
I mean, you could waste an hour just doing The Big Lebowski.
You really
I mean,
could.
seriously.
You really could.
Except for Eugene. Eugene doesn't like The Big
Except for
Lebowski.
Eugene, you're absolutely right.
Aww, poor Eugene.
It's okay.
I didn't see it when
It's
it
like-
came out. It just didn't hit with me like it did everyone else.
Like Clue did.
Fuck you, Lainey.
Whoa.
We get a little sensitive here. Whoa, back on.
You're talking about my lady.
Somebody
Shut
touched
up.
a nerve.
Damn.
Oh my.
He's like pull out a switchblade.
Yeah.
What'd you fucking say?
See you tomorrow, Lainey.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. You just
It's like a scene from American Me. Fucking stare
Yeah.
at it, like say something.
you don't talk
What was
about
it you said
Clue
yesterday?
like
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Parker, what's a rabbit hole you have to watch out for?
Well, the biggest one, really, but a more specific version of that is I'm on Reddit a lot. But one of my
God.
most favorite is to go on Reddit, the subreddit relationships, and just reading just all the variations of people's weird, fucked up relationships they have with coworkers, their family members, family friends. There's just a lot of bizarre people out there, and I love reading about people's just really like fucked up relationships. It's a lot of fun. That's
Christy
satisfying.
can never find out about this. Like, I will
Where is
lose
this?
my wife to this.
Seriously, you really.
Where is this thing you're going?
It's subreddit relationships.
Wow.
I mean, there's stuff
Sometimes-
of like
He'll send them to me, and they're
people,
terrifying.
yes, ranging from a guy is 20 years older than his girlfriend, or like there's some weird stuff going on within the family members. There's stuff of coworkers trying to fuck over other coworkers, and people are just asking advice on how to deal with stuff. The last one I saw was an older brother became the guardian of the younger sister because both the parents died, and he didn't know how to deal with a prepubescent girl that was going through changes, and he didn't have a family system to help him, so he was just asking the general public. And it's just it's a lot of weird stuff, and you can read 3 or 4 stories and it's 45 minutes have gone by.
Damn.
And just reading all the replies, and I like reading I have my own opinion, and I like to see who actually agrees with my opinion or who has a better opinion.
Mhm.
It's interesting stuff.
Do
That's
you
a lot
ever
of
feel?
time.
Do you ever like when you get done feel kind of weird? Like feel kind of like what have I been like? Is this
No, well, I don't know.
No, his army
I've come
training
to
helps with
peace.
that.
Yeah, I've come
Oh,
to
okay.
peace with who I am as an individual, so it doesn't really bother me. But I guess if you're not used to it, then I guess it might feel weird. Because a lot of these people are like bearing their souls sometimes, and
Yeah.
you get a peek into a person's life, and it's interesting.
It sounds fascinating. It sounds like
is.
something I have to never go look at.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
I
like I
can't
said,
do
I'm going
it
to lose
'cause
my
it makes
wife to
me
this.
Bad.
I would never. No,
Yeah.
that's
I
like
can't do it
fan
because
fiction.
as much as I like gossip, it just makes me sad.
Yeah, so
It makes me feel better as a person because at least I know I'm not that messed up.
Oh my God!
no,
It makes
Christy
you
has
feel-
the same opinion. That's why she said she watches some of the garbage TV. She's like, at least I'm
Oh,
not
that's
like
why I
that.
watch garbage TV.
Okay,
Well, it's like
maybe this too.
watching Cops. It's like, yeah, I might suck, but I'm not, didn't get busted for crack, so
Wow.
I'm not
You know.
smoking meth in my underwear in front of the
Yeah.
Texaco,
I didn't lie to a cop that that crack pipe isn't mine. So
Yeah.
even though it's in my hand and has my name on it.
Yeah.
it was in my purse. But
See, I would feel bad because I would feel like I'm using other people's lives and tragedies and misfortunes for my own personal entertainment. And
That's
you're
what
like,
Facebook is.
that's
you're
exactly
like-
what I'm doing.
That's
and you're
what
like, I feel better about myself because I'm not that guy. Fuck him. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, it sucks to suck sometimes. Yeah.
There's another shirt.
We already do that on social media.
Like I said, I've come to terms with
Yeah,
who I
social
am,
media
so
sucks.
I'm good.
They beat that out of him
Yeah.
in the service, so he's fine.
See my shirt today? It's
Trying to
pretty
decide
good.
You gotta
I
live-
did see that.
Trying to decide if I'm
You
going to
gotta
go to the
lo-
first one on my list or not because I have a feeling. No, I'm going to skip my first one because I have a feeling Sarah's going to bring it up. Like I said,
Ooh.
everyone knows I recently got a printer, a 3D printer for Christmas. And there's a website if you get into 3D printing, whether you're making stuff or downloading stuff or whatever, called Thingiverse. And people can upload things to build. And I cannot tell you how many rabbit holes I've gone down looking up stuff to build because, you go in there looking for something in particular. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look up, something Ghostbuster wise. So I look this up and I'm like, okay, well, there's like 4 or 5 different models. Let's see what the variations on that are. And, I'm kind of researching that. And then I'll look down on the bottom and be like, oh, well, you looked up Ghostbusters. What about this? And then, there's a recommendation. And I'm just like, oh shit, you can find Transformers stuff here. So I start looking up that, and then the next thing I know, like 3 hours have passed, and I'm just like, I haven't downloaded anything. I haven't decided to print anything. I've literally just been wasting my time looking up stuff that I may or may not ever print. But yeah, it's just like, to me, it's almost like free shopping, and that I get to print the stuff and don't have to pay for it. But it's also like, it's so overwhelming. It's like, well, what do I print first? Am I actually going to print this? Do I actually going to use this? That looks really cool. What would I do with it? And it's a thing. Needless to say, they let you have collections or, things you put together of, you can call your collection whatever you want. So I've got like 3 collections. I've got like a Ghostbusters collection. I've got a collection of like, I don't know, like stuff for around the house, and then I've just got like an odds and ends. And I mean the odds and ends, literally there's everything in there from a 3D printed Pokeball to a TARDIS that transforms into Soundwave. And I'm just like,
Damn,
sure, I'll
Soundwave.
print this at some point. So yeah.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, like I said, you can find some really cool stuff there, but it's very easy to fall into a rabbit hole, and all of a sudden, like 3 hours are gone, and I haven't figured out anything that I'm going to do. So,
How big is that community?
huge! It is a huge community.
Yeah.
It's been around for multiple years. The 3D printing scene's still fairly new, but ever since it shot up, this group has shot up as well, and it just keeps expanding. Like, it is the place to go to. There are some other sites that have some of their own models. But even a lot of times their models just as a link to Thingiverse. Like Thingiverse is the place to go. It's the Google of 3D printing stuff, basically. So
That's awesome. That sounds like I would get, if I did 3D printing, I would get BossNet very easily.
oh yeah, like it's very
For sure.
you very easily just start going, oh my God, you can print that? I never even thought about that. Like there's entire groups that are like designated to, printing certain types of things. Like, here's how to fix different parts of, stuff around your house. Here's what I'm doing with this. And I'm just like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. And I've lost tons of hours to looking up stuff like that. So
That's awesome.
a lot of good ideas, but yeah, I've lost quite a few hours doing that. So
Yeah, I bet.
all right, who was first? I think it was Chris, right? Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Chris, what's your next rabbit hole you have to avoid?
My turn. I love Instagram. It's my favorite. And they have this wonderful little explore function on
Yes.
there that you can kind of
Oh,
get real swipe happy about. Oh, it's
oh
bad.
God.
Oh, it's bad. I also like, and it can also show you who you can be friends with, like people who either follow you or people from Facebook, or people because you've liked this picture, you might like this person. I like hiding them and like sort of Xing them out so I don't have to see them anymore. That's also very fun. But yeah, the explore function is bad because I'll just sit. I'm not even doing anything. I'm not even reading the caption. I'm just looking at the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real problem.
It's bad. Some of them there's some pictures are just gorgeous, and then
Oh, mine's all trash.
oh no, mine's like nature pictures and van
Oh.
life.
Okay,
and,
yes,
Mine's-
it's definitely
Of course.
tailored to what you post. And
Yes,
the hashtags and
Mine's
stuff
all
you use.
Disney and Real Housewives.
Yeah, mine is full of Ghostbusters and cosplay.
yeah.
Gutter trash.
But you could get lost in that really quickly. And I like doing that. And then especially when they have mentions where you can click on other accounts, and then you go down that rabbit hole of looking at some random account and they've got like 100 posts and you're like, oh, what's all this? And you're, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I do
my mode
in
of
the car.
operation is going down my feed till I get back to the picture, the last picture that I checked, then scrolling back up and then clicking on like those little moments thing or whatever if there are any of those up there, and it's just that random search button. And the next thing I know, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to bed tonight at a decent hour. I'll just check Instagram. And the next thing I know, like an hour and a half has passed, and I'm like,
Yeah. I do it in the car a lot, which I shouldn't because it eats
I
up
do
the
too.
data. But yeah, if I'm bored, it's super bad. That's why I have to keep my phone away from me because I'll pick it up and just mindlessly just explore Instagram.
I understand. I'm
But I
completely
like
there
it.
with you.
Joker, please expound on what you were talking about. I'm fascinated. I need to know more. I just want to mention that right now.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee flavored Oreos announced.
Nope. Pass.
Ooh, baby.
Oh,
I'm
that
out.
sounds- this is not everything's for you.
Yes. Speaking
What's up,
of you-
Professor Mike?
Yeah. Speaking of you, Lainey, what's your next rabbit hole you have to watch out for?
My next rabbit hole is one that's not going to surprise fucking anyone. So get
That's
ready.
your rabbit
'cause
hole?
it's- No.
Oh,
That's a weird
No,
rabbit
my
hole.
rabbit
that's
hole
a weird
just
rabbit
isn't
hole.
gonna- Shut up. It's not going
I
to
didn't-
surprise anybody because it's Disney related.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Oh,
Everybody
anything
was waiting.
specifically?
Well,
Yes.
what's Disney just in general, or
Well, yes, but more specifically, I have a weird obsession with like knowing everything there is to know about the parks, especially.
Especially, yes.
Yes, and I love to like I don't know, I get on these weird tangents where like I'll find out like and it's not limited to like one website or anything or like one source. It's like all across the internet. I'll hear something on like one of the podcasts that I listen to, and then I have to go look up the attraction, read up all about the attraction, know when it opened, when it closed. Then I have to go on YouTube and see if there's a video of the attraction, and see if there's multiple different versions of the attraction. And then I need to see if there's another version of the attraction in any other parks around the world. And then I need to know exactly what the music was like from it. And then I need to know why they shut it down. And then I need to know if there were ever any like incidences that ever happened on it. Like it's a real issue.
That's pretty thorough.
Yeah, like I need to know fucking everything about it. That was one of the nice things about working there was like I got to know all kinds of stuff about all these different rides because I knew cast members that worked there and they would tell me.
I'm living the internet.
Yeah, like pretty much. But no, like it's really.
You're being noisy, Parker.
Yeah.
am I? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
like super
you-
fucking noisy.
The whole
but-
time.
yeah, I could hear you getting the ice. I could hear you getting your scotch. I could hear all of it.
I'll be really quiet from now on. I promise.
Liar.
You got to understand. You got to understand. Parker spends so much time trying to be as silent as possible.
Oh my
that when he
god.
finally-
Yeah, now that I can be loud, I'm trying to be loud. Get out of
And
my
his foxhole in Fallujah over there. So, but yeah, like it's really bad. Like that's why I can pretty much tell you what the entire Indiana Jones ride is like, even though I've never been on it and have never been to Disneyland. Like it's just, it's a real problem, you guys. Like sometimes
How much would it cost to
what?
go to Disneyland? How much would it run you?
a lot. It's really expensive to go to Disneyland. It would probably run me close to about the same of what it would run me to go to. No, it would be more expensive because I wouldn't get the perks that I get when I go back to Walt Disney World.
So if you're listening to this podcast,
If you would like to send me to
This is where the
Disneyland,
Patreon comes in.
Yeah,
You
so
don't
if
get
you
donate.
if you don't catch that reference, you weren't here for the pre-show. So
make a wish
Yeah.
come true.
oh, Lord.
if you want to send me to Disneyland, I will take videos of me crying at every single thing that Walt ever touched, sat on, or sneaked over. Like
Everything?
it's gonna get really real.
Ugh.
That's the other thing is I especially love to look at like old pictures of like I love to know what they call it, like Disneyana. Like I love to know exactly like what the park looked like when Walt first opened it and like what all the changes were that he implemented and what it looked like from his point of view, like what his ideas were.
Wait, what
That
do they
kind of
call that again? I'm sorry.
Disneyana.
What does that mean?
It means like vintage Disney things.
Is it like a mix of two
Like Disney
words, or
history. I don't know.
What is this thing that you speak? This noise?
Disney on? I don't. Okay. Anyway, I guess that's just me. Fuck me.
Is
Never
this
mind. Keep going.
English? Are these words
Anyway.
from the English
I don't
language?
know. I don't know where it came from. I just know that that's what they call it. So, but like I need to
Who
know
are
like all
they?
of it. Like that's why I know about like the apartment that he had built in New Orleans Square and like what the purpose of clubs are. It's a real addiction and it's a problem and it keeps me up at night sometimes.
Well,
But it
now you
provides
need
me
to figure out
a level
where
of comfort.
Disneyana comes from, because that's
That's gonna
Okay,
bug you
fine.
now, right?
a part of the lore. So you should.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll look that up and I will let you know as soon as I find it.
Okay, so Lainey, also
Hi.
when you're thinking about that, think about what you'd be willing to do to make this happen. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Like
like the way that you.
What color?
All right,
Oh.
Cyrus, what's your next rabbit hole?
How much is dignity worth? Let's find out.
Your dirty old man side.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. So Eugene, you brought up something a minute ago when you were talking about what was yours that you said last? You said
looking at stuff through Thingiverse.
Thingiverse. Yeah, but there was something you mentioned specifically, like I heard you mention Soundwave.
Yes, and that's why I didn't bring up my first one that was on my list because I knew you were going to bring up the first one on my list. So go ahead. Sir.
Well, I felt like we should do it together.
Ew.
That's an
Eugene
advanced
and I-
Patreon perk.
Yeah.
To see Eugene inside.
Go on, come on, please.
Negative $200.
You pay us. So we were you mentioned Soundwave, and as soon as you did, I went to eBay and I started looking up.
No, don't do
Soundwave.
it.
I already did, and I was like, oh wow, here's a really good quality Generation 1 Soundwave with Laserbeak and Ravage for $80. Buy it now.
Okay,
Actually, that is a good price.
I don't know what y'all are talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so basically, Cyrus and I have spent more than one evening. Like we've done the show's over. We hang out afterwards. You know, we chat with everyone. Hey, it's getting really late. It's midnight. It's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna jump off, go to bed. We're like, all right, cool. And then
Night. I
one
love
of us-
you. I
one
love
of
you
us-
too.
one of us two assholes will say, hey, have you looked up and then fill in the blank Transformer or mainly Transformers or some other toy from, our childhood and we both pull up eBay, and we will spend like I won't go to bed till 3 or 4 a.m. looking up.
Oh, I
shit
love
on
doing
eBay.
that. Not to tie it back to me, but okay, I just sent Parker a message that
Yes, I know, 'cause it's on
Disneyana
the
is the
thing.
wrong term that I'm using. So I've years of academy training wasted. I said the wrong thing. Disneyana refers specifically to like collectibles and toys and stuff. I do the same thing though. I look all that shit up on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And that started very innocently because I was like, you know what I would really like? I would like to have a sweatshirt from the first year that I went. And then it turned into a lot of, it was bad.
Yes.
That's how I ended up
The
with my Mickey
eBay.
cheeseburger purse, though.
Cheeseburger backpack.
Cheeseburger backpack.
Eugene, did you see the link I sent you?
No, there was a link that popped up, and then I immediately closed it down,
Mm.
and I'm like, no, I will look this up later.
Yeah, that's Generation 1, and that looks really good too.
Yeah,
But
so I can't tell you how many times, like, it was a series of weeks that Cyrus kept on me about buying, because I've collected the, I'm trying to think what they're called, Force FX lightsabers, and I have most of them. One of them that I don't have is Kylo Ren's, and we found a pretty good listing for it. He's looking it up right now, you asshole. I can see that's exactly what you're typing in. Yeah, there's multiple times he's been like, just buy it, just do it, dude. That's a good price. Just do it, and like I said,
look,
hours will pass.
Star Wars Black Series Kylo Ren Force Effects Deluxe Lightsaber, $119.
That's actually not bad.
That is a pretty good price. Fuck you, motherfucker.
$119. Buy it now. Free shipping. Boom. Done.
Shut up. Anyway, so yes, yeah, that's one of mine and Cyrus's. That's one we definitely share, is looking up toys on eBay, because that is not only does it waste a lot of time, it's very, very dangerous for our limited funds. So,
$118. Another one.
which if you would like to help with our funds, no, I'm playing. Parker.
God.
Parker, what's the next rabbit hole you have to avoid?
Okay, a really big one for me, and it also might be one for Elaine, is YouTube. Just listening to some sort of music, and the suggestion on the side. I'm sure maybe everyone can relate. That can go very wrong really, really fast. Because like, oh, well, you like whatever. This band is pretty similar. You might like them as well.
Now listen to them. Now listen to their entire back catalog.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. And then I'll listen to a band. It's like, then there's a couple other bands that sound like them, or it's the same lead singer. Then I didn't know they had a side project. And so then I have to start looking up the side project. And,
the side projects are what get you.
Jeez, yeah. So it can turn into an hour after I was just going to listen to a song, and it turns into an hour, just like that.
I do that with Pandora, too.
Pandora as well.
Something will come on Pandora, and I'm like, I want to listen to this song again. And then I go and I look it up, and then I listen to that, and then 15 other things come on, and I have to go listen to those, too.
Yeah, so the music thing, and then it's probably might be worse than the trailers. The trailers will get me, but the music can sneak up on me sometimes, and I'm not expecting it.
Ooh. And then I have to Wikipedia the artist and find out every possible thing I could ever know about them.
Oh, God,
yeah, and then there's that too.
I don't know why. It's just easier.
Don't lend me some Wikipedia.
Well, staying on the YouTube train, there's certain series that I'll find, like, especially if I first discover it, I really have to watch myself from like just going through and like watching almost everything that they've done. One such one was Movies with Mikey. After I discovered Movies with Mikey, I went through and literally watched every movie that I've actually seen that he did a review on. And I watched his I guess you'd say review, his thoughts on it. And then it got so bad it was to the point I was like, am I going to watch this movie? And if I haven't seen this movie, is it going to ruin this for me? No, I'm going to go ahead and watch this anyway. So So I've watched almost everything he's done. One of the other things, and I have, because of the vast amount of information, I haven't gone that deep, but like the Game Historian, that is like PBS quality documentary stuff on video games, and it's phenomenal. And every one of them that I've watched, I've greatly enjoyed. And there's a ton of them still that like I just pull up his channel. Like if I'm like, oh, I've got some time to burn, pull up the channel, just hit play, and just let it go. Because yeah, there's several channels on YouTube that I can do that with. So in fact, I got to think about it the other day. I think I watch more YouTube than I do everything else combined. That includes like broadcast television, Netflix, everything. Like,
I know I do. Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's a mix between YouTube and Netflix for sure with me.
so, all right, Chris. I know we're the show hadn't been going too long, but go ahead and if you've got one or two more, if you want to throw them out there.
3 more.
Oh, okay. Then you know
I
what?
have a lot.
Does everyone still have 2 or 3
Whoa,
more?
alright.
Chris fucking came prepared.
I got
Y'all just
2
came
more.
to me.
All right,
I've
cool.
got
We'll
2
do
more.
we'll do at least 2 more rounds then. Cool. All right.
Okay.
What you got for us,
All
Chris?
right. So for me, if I find a show that I really, really like and it's been out for several seasons, I will binge watch it like bad. Ignore my family binge watch it. I did that. I did that today. I've been watching Shameless, and
Oh man.
I love that
Oh,
show.
that show's good.
It's so good. And now it's a running joke. Even my kids make fun of me now for it. But Logan she goes, so Mom, what'd you do today? How many episodes of Shameless did you watch?
Ooh, you're
Sure.
getting shade.
Yeah.
For my 11
Or she's getting shamed.
But she's right, because today I watched
That side.
6 episodes of Shameless while ignoring my family.
That's
Today.
6 hours.
I purposely said, we're having a lazy day, kids. You can stay in your pajamas, so I could watch season 6.
Nice.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. That is a horrible problem that we all have now. Is like these shows that if you don't like, you start watching them after they've already been out for a while. So there's like all these episodes that you got to. It's like, well, you watch one, might as well watch another.
Yeah, you're
Might
like,
as
well, there
watch
goes
another.
my week. Like I already know.
Okay, but here's the thing about that, though, and actually there's a podcast I listened to. They were talking about it. You get a different experience watching shows by binge watching them. For example,
What is going on with
I
Chris?
know, I'm
I'm
trying to
sorry.
get
I'm having a meltdown.
thought it was one of the kids freaking out having a nightmare. He comes running in, going like, yes, the Leafs just won. They went into double
Oh my
overtime. He's
God.
freaking out right now. Now he can go to bed.
The
That's one of
Leafs.
his rabbit holes. Is now it's the playoffs. So okay,
Is he
feels
gonna
better
jump in a
And a pile of
pond?
leaves?
or no in a pond? Don't they?
Oh.
Those guys do. They jump in if their team makes it to the playoffs. They jump in a big ice hole, whatever you guys call it.
Ice hole.
A frozen lake?
Yeah, the lake. They jump in there. I don't know.
No.
The polar bear
He's going
challenge.
to,
Chris,
Yeah.
are you married to an ice hole?
I'm married to an ice hole. Some days I am.
Poor Ray's not here to defend
Sorry,
himself.
he's just like, he stopped it. He kind of scared me a little. I thought it was Quiddy having a nightmare and he's running out freaking out. And it's him like, yes.
He's having the opposite of a nightmare.
Oh,
Nice.
God. I can go to bed. Sorry.
Living the Canadian dream.
No, what I
He
was
is
saying
right
was,
now.
what I was saying was, there's a podcast that, a podcast that I listened to, and they were talking about both of the guys who watched, what is it, Westworld. They watched it, as it was coming out, and they thought it was good but not great. Whereas I'm in the camp where I basically got really far behind it, and I think I actually didn't watch it until it was finished, and then binged it, and I thought it was phenomenal. And they've started talking to other people, and they've said the same thing. They're like, we seem to notice a lot of people, if you binge the show, you enjoy it a lot more, whereas it's the week to week thing is getting kind of
Interesting. So some
See,
shows are opposite. Some shows
I
are
had the opposite effect watching Westworld, because I watched it, as they were coming out, and then I went back and tried to rewatch just to kind of see what I missed, and I couldn't focus on all the crazy stuff that happened back to back. Like I could only watch like 2 at a time, and then I had to wait a day, and then come back and watch a couple more.
Oh yeah, I couldn't watch more than a couple of Westworld because it was just too much.
It was really I had to
Yeah,
give myself a day to process what I just watched.
yeah. But things like
That's
Shameless, because it kind of hits home a little bit for me. I like watching it because some of it's funny. All of it's funny, but
Yeah,
more
and
so
that's
than other things.
that's definitely easier to digest, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Weird way
yeah.
to say it.
But I do that, and I ignore everybody. But it's a good thing that my kids are at the age that they're at because they don't have to really. They don't need me to survive. So it's
Gotcha.
good.
Hey, there you go.
Mom,
There's
what's for
some-
lunch? There's something in the fridge.
Yeah, just
That's what I
get
do.
caught
I'm like,
up.
yeah. Have you guys eaten lunch yet? You should probably do that.
I wonder if like shows like that are on Netflix, since they typically they release a whole season at a time, they don't do like spread it out. I wonder if that factors into the pacing of how they, like because a lot of shows they know you're going to be waiting a week or two or however long, before the next show. So I wonder if the production is, what they try to do in the story and how they structure everything is different based on
no,
that.
I know it is. I've heard
Yeah.
some writers show up on some different shows, and they've talked about it. They're like, it's a different writing style. Whereas, like if you're still doing your show for network television, you have to number one, you have to plan in breaks, and you have to do that slight quote unquote, not really 30-second replay, but slight 30-second replay. So like, right before commercial
Catch
break,
everybody up.
it's like, I'm your father, and then goes to commercial break. And then when it comes back, it's I'm your father. They literally play like, so you can remember. And they're like, when you're writing shit for Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that, they're like, we don't have to do that shit anymore. And it's funny because
Sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing.
well, like Rick and Morty specifically make fun of that. Like, they're like, they planned, even though there are commercial breaks on their show, they're planning for the long run of people watching it like on Netflix and stuff. And so like, you can obviously see where it goes to black where there would be a break, and they'd come back and say something, and they literally point out, it's like, that's kind of odd that you would say that again. Don't worry about it. And they'll move on. Like they acknowledge it and move on. But anyway, that show's very meta. So
Yeah.
Lainey, what is your next
Inception.
rabbit hole?
Ooh.
Oh,
No.
my
This show's starting to get good.
I wanted to throw it out there. So my next rabbit hole, this is kind of weird, but I am constantly on the search for the perfect pair of overalls.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
They're back in style now.
as one tends to do, obviously.
And for the last 3 years, I will randomly go on like eBay / Google shopping, whatever, like rabbit holes, and try to find one that fits the exact way I want them to fit on that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
And this has taken up hours of my time. Again, I tend to typically do this at night when I'm supposed to be sleeping.
Right. Yeah.
Of course.
And I don't really I like that overalls are back on style. Okay.
Back on style.
On style.
They have returned to the style. It's
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Is that German?
I used to wear a belt tied to my.
Well, I'm glad that they're
belt.
back in style
Style,
so that I don't get quite as many looks as I used to. I don't like the way that they fit now. So it's a problem. So I'm constantly having to like look, especially eBay. I'm constantly having to look on eBay for like old pairs that aren't like skinny jeans turned overalls, because that's not how overalls are supposed to fit. That's a jumpsuit. That's what J-Lo used to wear. All right. And that's not really my aesthetic. So,
That's not
but yeah. I know that's a weird one, but it's what I do. I will literally for hours like search for
Well, I
like
was
the
going to
perfect pair of
ask
overalls.
what constitutes the perfect pair, but you kind of summed it up. So
Yeah.
I have what I feel, and I know Parker's going to disagree with me, but I have what I feel are the perfect pair of overall shorts. I love them, and they fit me perfectly right now, especially. They're just like, they're not
overall shorts.
Yeah, over
Which
shorts.
is just the dumbest thing.
are they called orts?
No.
No.
Like,
Stop trying to be cute, Eugene. They're just overall shorts. But yeah,
orts.
they're really cute.
I like that a lot, actually.
Stupid.
Lainey, Logan would be with you. She was
Yeah,
on the lookout
see,
for a very
Logan
long
gets
time.
it.
Logan
Okay,
gets it.
like when we were in high school in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
there was the phase where the chicks would wear the overalls, but there was a certain kind of overalls, and they had
Bell bottom overalls.
well, they had really great
I don't want that.
side boob action going. I don't know how to
Well,
really
that's just
describe it.
overalls in general.
Well, I
Yeah, they
also
were
wear
really-
a t-shirt or a tank top
Yeah.
or body
Well,
suit
you're not
like
doing
I
it.
did last week.
You're not doing
I
it.
think I'm doing it fine.
Right?
Well,
Never
the
mind. You
Patreon
probably
hasn't been
are.
set up yet,
But
Si.
Yeah. Hey,
oh,
there you go.
damn.
See some size side boob. I'd pay for that.
I'm just saying, like the chicks back in high school, the overalls were like designer overalls or some shit. They were like
Oh, well,
they
I'm
weren't
not wearing overalls like I'm wearing overalls. I'm wearing overalls like I want to wear a pair of overalls.
Overall
Yeah,
shorts
you know-
are kind of like sleeveless sweatshirts. What?
Yes. Yeah,
I
because
love them.
sleeveless
overalls
sweatshirts.
to like to work in, but then they're shorts. So what's the?
I don't wear them to work in. I wear them to run around, and
And look, yeah,
It's the mullet of clothing. It's
they're
the
just
mullet.
really comfortable, and I like them, and they make me feel happy. And you know what? I wasn't old enough in the 90s to wear all the cool stuff that was like coming out. And by the time I was old enough to pick out my own clothes, all the clothes was stupid because it was the early 2000s. Okay? So I'm living my little 90s girl dreams and leave me alone. I like my overalls.
Hey, no judging. We're just having a little fun.
I'm judging.
Well, okay.
Yeah, he's always
Parker's
judging.
but
Yeah.
Parker hates them.
secretly.
Parker hates my overalls, and I specifically try to bring them on
You don't understand.
every outing.
Secretly, Parker loves all of it, but he knows that if he says that, you won't do it because you're contrarian, and he
knows
has to use reverse psychology on every fucking thing that he does with you.
See,
Is that true, Parker?
playing the long game. That and I just really don't like them. I think
He really hates them overalls. He hates them.
Overalls are one
Cyrus
thing.
has this theory in the back of Parker's mind right now. He's like, "Is there any way I can steal these and put them in the campfire?" Like, well, she knows.
Yes. Ooh.
That's why I don't bring him on camping trips.
There you go, Cyrus. What's
And he
another
knows
rabbit
if
hole
he
you
took
have to
him, I'd
avoid?
die.
Okay, so you'll relate to this, Eugene.
Okay.
And it's not so much a big deal now as it used to be because computers have gotten a lot better. But I used to go down this rabbit hole where I would waste hours and hours and hours tweaking the performance settings and trying to get like it to run just a little faster and maybe get a little bit more out of this or get the video card to do that, or let me go into the config sys and edit this line, and maybe I can find that listing in the INI file that's causing this one problem, and let me it's like all that horse shit. Like I used to spend so much time and for very little payoff usually.
Oh yeah.
It was like, honestly, it was like crack cocaine, because what would happen is you would start off and you would find some change that you could make that would cause like, oh, wow, look how much better everything's running. And you could never get back to that. Like, no matter what you would try, you were never going to have that kind of success again, tweaking the settings. But you would still keep trying to find that holy grail of something you hadn't quite gotten right so that the system would run that much better. Nowadays, systems are so powerful. I mean, you really don't have, they run fine pretty much no matter what. I mean, assuming you've got a decent computer. But like back in the days of like when, Windows XP especially is when I mainly was doing this. It was like,
I did, yeah. You're talking to a guy that used to overclock the RAM, the CPU, the GPU.
You used to overclock RAM?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Damn. You were really stretching, weren't you?
Dude, okay, back in the day when I worked at the little computer store, I had a tower that weighed about like 50 pounds. It had a window in the side. I had LEDs. I had mirrors. I was running a RAID setup.
Nice.
I had my CPU overclocked from a AMD XP 2400 to a 3200. I had the RAM overclocked. It was, and just so that you could say I got like 5 extra frames out of like that test or whatever.
But it didn't have a spoiler.
Mm.
No,
Well, if you have LED, that adds tremendous horsepower to your rig.
Yeah,
Everybody
so-
knows that.
But yeah, no, I completely
Nerds.
understand that. That's something I'm so glad I don't do anymore. Like, yeah.
Hey man, Command and Conquer took a bunch of frames to run
Oh
properly.
my
All right.
God, yes. Don't even get me started on Command and Conquer. I love that game and hate it at the same time.
But if you load the system in safe mode first,
There you go.
and then manually turn every little thing on that you need. Oh my God.
Yep, I understand. So, made sure nothing booted up except for the game. Like, nothing.
Bare bones run.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Parker, what's something else you have to watch out for?
This one might not be a surprise, but going really deep into Lord of the Rings lore can take up a lot of time, especially kind of the more obscure stuff like the Lost Tales and Children of Huron and all that kind of stuff. Like really getting into world building can waste just a lot of time with me anyway. Just going back and reading like family trees and what this one guy did to make him famous, you know, stuff that no one really gives a shit about is pretty interesting to me. I don't know. It's interesting.
Is like
I can waste a lot of time doing that.
Is there new stuff coming out, or do you feel like you've pretty well gotten to the
No,
bottom of the
it's
well?
just-
Or
It's all stuff that he already
It's
knows
just-
too.
No, there's so much stuff. It takes a long time to go through all of it, and I know enough to know that I don't know a lot. That's kind of where I'm at. Like Stephen Colbert, you know, he's like a crazy Lord of the Rings like historian guy. They call them historians. It's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, you can waste a lot of time if you really are interested in Lord of the Rings lore. You will spend years of your life trying to memorize and look into and cross-reference stuff and see where there's some holes from his earlier writings to his later writings, and reading some of the letters that he wrote his son on how he wants to go back and fix stuff, but he was never able to. So now there's a lot of conflict on what's the actual lore, depending on if you believe his early writings or his later writings. It's a lot of stuff. So I have to make sure to not do that.
This phenomenon is happening to Star Wars right now, by the way.
oh yeah,
Like there's all
yeah.
You know,
I think Lord of the Rings would be one of the few things that could hold a candle to the insane amount of writing with Star Wars.
people are like, well, it's not genuine Lucas. It's, you know, blah blah blah. You know, you know, there's now this designation where people define themselves by, you know, it's like a religion, you know, like.
Oh yeah. Some people with Christopher Tolkien, which is his son, that kind of carried on his stuff. He wrote some stuff and finished stuff that his dad didn't finish, and people are saying, you know, is that truly a part of the lore? Can we trust it? That kind of stuff. It's yeah.
No,
It's
I'm not
real. None of it's real.
Like I said, it's like Star Wars. People get really
the term
really
you're looking for. The term you're looking for is canon.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Cyrus hates that term.
Which is why I didn't say it.
Oh, I know he does.
Something
I didn't say it for a reason.
Something on my list that I have to, and it's funny, even though I don't have any plans on building one of these anytime soon, I will still find myself going down a rabbit hole looking up information on building a MAME cabinet. It's been a white whale for me for the longest time, and I don't have the room for it. There are other ways about going about doing it that I think definitely fits my lifestyle. It fits me better. Like it clearly, it's like, why would you build this MAME cabinet? It doesn't make sense to do this. It makes much more sense to do it this way. And every part of my brain, except for 1%, goes, yep, absolutely. But then there's that one little part that's just like, but what if we did? What if we did? What would we build it out of? What would we do with it? What would it look like? What kind of buttons would we use? And then I just fall down this rabbit hole of
Yep.
looking up
Theory crafting.
You know for a fact that I'm right there with you. You know
yes,
that.
absolutely, yes. This is why Cy and I get along so well, because we have the same madness.
It is a madness. It is. If seriously, if you put us in a room with 2 computers and the only thing we could do is look up toys and main cabinets, we would be fine. We would just spend all of our time doing those 2 things.
Exactly, yes, and
I
debating
can see that.
which one would be the better one to go. We would never buy anything. Nothing would ever be
Nope.
purchased.
Nope.
Nothing would be built.
Nothing would ever be actually physically done.
Yes, but we would.
But
we'd
you
have
can see it in your head, though.
Exactly. We'd have this awesome, loked out imaginary main cabinet that is decorated with all of our toys that we never bought. So, yeah.
There might be days where we would have digital shopping carts completely filled with all of this stuff.
Oh, totally. Totally.
It would never be purchased. It would just be, and then we would, no, I don't tweak that. No, put that in instead of that one. That, this one's supposed to have a better refresh rate or whatever than this one. And this, these wires are better than these wires because I heard that, you want to be able to.
The mouse would actually bounce off of the purchase button like it was magnetically unattractive. Like you would pull the mouse down and it'd just go bloop because there's no way it's going to happen. Yeah, no.
We would have to have a rig set up to where the computer would recognize the word buy, and if we clicked anything that said buy, a shotgun shell would actually blow our heads off. That would actually be the only way.
My goodness.
Yeah, you just set up a macro for that.
Yeah, Chris, do you have any more? You got like what? 2 more? You said.
Mm-hmm.
What are your last 2? Go ahead and hit us with them.
But I have a question first.
Double up on us.
What's a MAME cabinet?
A MAME cabinet is a multiple arcade machine emulation. Basically, it is just picture a normal style like arcade machine, but it has like almost every video game in it. Okay, is what it boils down to. So
okay.
Just
wondering. Okay, so my last 2 are so kind of like with binge watching. If I'm reading a really good book, it's always the whole just one more page because I read at night. So it's like, oh God, I can't stop in the middle of the scene. One more page. And then it just keeps getting better. And then I have to find out what happens. So there's nights where I'll read like 100 pages, 150 pages of a book, just trying to get into the story. And then like Ray makes fun of me. He's like, so how far did you get today? I'm like, oh, I read like 13 chapters that I have to know.
Well, you got to get them through it because if you don't read it, then they're still stuck there. You got to. Yeah.
So some books do this. Other books I can't. They bother and I don't want to read. But the ones that really draw me in, it's like I'll read them in a couple of days and then be sad when I'm done and wish I hadn't read them so quickly.
I have done the audiobook equivalent of that is listening to an audiobook, pulling into the garage, turning off the car, but not
and
turning
sitting
it
there
off
so it
all
can
of
keep
the
going.
way, just so that you can you just got to get a couple of more minutes in. Yeah. No, I totally understand that. Totally understand that.
45 minutes later, still sitting in your car.
I know. I get all
I've
of a
done
sudden
that with
the
a
book
podcast
stops
before.
because the phone call comes on. Where are you?
I'm
in the garage.
You're starting to sweat, so you got to turn back on the car.
Yeah.
Get the AC going.
Yeah. My last one is with knitting and crocheting. If I have to finish everything I need to do for the day first, because if I get a hold of a project that I'm working on, it's like just one more row, and then it's like 4 hours and I've done nothing. I've completed the project. Like it'll take me like 4 hours to make a hat, but I've done nothing else.
Hey, that's not too bad.
But
You're
you're
still
still
productive.
No, I know, but
productive.
I still like the dishes aren't done, the house is a mess, and I'm just in denial of the fact that I probably should have done all of that first before I sat down and did that.
But man, does that scarf look good?
That scarf's bitching, and I'm happy.
See?
But yeah,
That's a bitchin' scarf.
That scarf's bitching.
Now we know
Bitchin'
how to
scarves. We
describe
can sell
her
bitchin'
Etsy shop.
scarves.
Yeah, that's your new business. Bitchin' scarves.
Bitchin' scarves.
Bitchin' scarves.
by Chris.
Hell yeah.
No, that doesn't.
By Chris.
I'm buying 10 of them. How much they cost?
He'll never click the buy button. He just
Yeah.
He'll never just put them in the cart.
Yeah.
I will have the greatest shopping cart you will ever see. It's amazing.
I know shopping carts. All right. I know the best shopping carts.
Exactly. Lainey, do you have any more to share?
I do. I have one more.
All right, what you got?
I do this a lot, especially around Halloween time. But I am fascinated by like real life hauntings and stuff. And so a lot of times, if I like hear about something that's haunted, I have to again Google it and read up on it and find out why it's haunted and where it is and like what kinds of things people have seen there. And then one of the things I love about October is that all of the shows, not like Ghost Hunters and all that bullshit, but like almost like documentary style, like cheesy ones that always like are like narrated over, and they like interview the worst people for them, and they ask them about like, well, like what have you seen, and like this, that, and the other, and then they narrate over it and tell like a horrible backstory and use terrible puns, and oh my god, I love those. But then I always have to go and like look up the actual
information.
Yeah, like I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff. That's the reason that I want to go to New Orleans so badly, is because so many of those places that I've looked up are there because it's the most haunted city in the United States. And I just want to like go and experience it, like see what it's like, and it's so cool. But yeah, I'm really bad about that. Like I love to look up that kind of stuff. There's a lot of haunted places in Galveston here in Texas, and I usually read up on a lot of those.
Is that, I guess, from the hurricane?
Yeah, most of them actually are from the hurricane. In fact, Parker and I went to a wedding last year in one of the very, very haunted hotels in Galveston, and I was just pleased as punch. I was so excited.
But we didn't see anything spooky. We just saw
I told
an
you we
open
weren't
bar.
going to see. I told you. Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, we did. But no, like that. I told you we weren't going to see anything. I just like, I don't know. I like to go and I like to see like what the energy feels like, and if I think I'm going to see something. And I've never seen a ghost. I just love the idea.
It felt like a room of like 100 drunk people. Is what.
Well, that ballroom was not haunted. The like the veranda, like in the back where they do like brunch and stuff, that's haunted, and then one of the rooms is haunted too. One of the turrets, I think.
Well, if you ever see any ghosts, you know who to call, right?
Myself.
Eugene.
The chat room is saying Chris needs to knit a beer koozie that looks like overall shorts. And
that's when you bring it around, complete the circle. Perfect.
And the Patreon to have that done is
yes, that's the $10.
My God!
There's probably a knitting pattern out there of that.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
For sure.
My God, I've never wanted anything that doesn't exist more in my whole life.
Or you could just get like actual jean material and sew you a.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Oh my God, I want an overall koozie. Oh my God. Okay.
The Epically Geeky Show is brought to you by.
Orts.
Orts. Yeah.
Orts. Yeah.
Do yourself a favor.
Orts and ports.
Beer orts. Oh my God.
Beer orts.
I love
there
it
you go.
so much. I love
ports.
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 Cyrus, do you have any more to share?
Not really. I mean, I could go and talk about Minecraft, or I could talk about,
Oh my God.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I've said enough. I think I'm done.
Do you occasionally see when people post like on Facebook and stuff, like these just insane recreations they've done? Like the one I just recently saw, it was like this week, was a group of 10 people spent 2 years and they recreated Hogwarts and everything around it in Minecraft.
The whole thing.
And it was insanely detailed.
I've never done nothing like that, but I will tell you this. Look for something probably tomorrow from me.
Hey,
I've been working on something.
Like a large creation of yours, sir?
It's something I've been working on for a little while. It's nothing crazy, but it's something I've been working on for a while.
Well, very cool. Very cool.
Well, color me excited.
Parker, do you have anything else to share?
Yeah, I guess kind of one thing. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it is a rather large time sink. When I get a new game, I like to know everything possible about the game before I even start playing it. So this was a larger thing back in the day when you actually got a physical copy.
The
So
manual,
you'd read. I mean, pay every single page, the either the button layout or the mouse and keyboard layout, the different variations of why that would be better. You already start theory crafting about what to do. I played a lot of like Civilization and Age of Empires and all that stuff. So the tech trees were just
Yeah.
I would pin that up in my room and memorize tech trees
No.
Oh my
for
God,
the most
you're
efficient
such a
way.
little nerd.
The most efficient way to get to, the Iron Age, Bronze Age, whatever. Different races, how their unique perks can change that, and the best way to optimize what their like national perk is. And it just, yeah, that went. I could waste hours buying a new game I was really excited about and not even playing for several hours because I haven't delved in deep enough to the lore and or the mechanics of the game.
You got to remember, once upon a time, we didn't used to have as many games. You would get, you'd have a very small amount of games. That's just the way it was, and so you had to really get your money's worth out of it. And but then also, you would get so much more. You would get these big manuals and all this stuff, and like
usually free with not free with the game, and then you could buy like Prima official strategy guides, and that was a whole can of worms. Oh man!
But also, I will say this: think about this. Think about we got into games at the right time. Sorry, current generation, you lost out. But like when we got into games, all this was happening, and we were kids. So you would go and you get to the car, and on the way home, you're like, "Hey, can I take my game out and open it?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, go ahead."
You had to ask your parents.
Right. So you take the game out, you open it, and all the way home, you're studying the game.
Yep.
So this was just what we did. This was the way things used to work,
Mm-hmm.
So there was so much time spent with games before you even played them. So this, what you're talking about to people our age is like, obviously.
Yeah, you guys know. And like I said, it would be a long time before you even, and as you're downloading it, which used to take hours, and the whole time, or the loading screen, the download screen would also have little tidbits of information sometimes, and you'd read that. Oh yeah.
And the games would be. Remember when, like, for computer games, you would buy them and it'd be like 10 discs.
Yeah.
Yep. Put the first disc in,
and then load in disc 2, and you have to turn it out, put the other one in. Yeah.
And Ryan's saying, there's no internet to look up tips and stuff, so it's like you would buy those books, you would buy that stuff, and then you would I still have books that are like cheat codes for Genesis games and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I still have my official StarCraft Prima official strategy guide.
Right.
Yeah, my original NES is sitting in a box down here, like maybe 5 feet from me, and in the top of the box is that Nintendo Power, the special ones that they did where it was like a bunch of cheats. I have that one that has for all the Mario games, all the Mega Man games, Legend of Zelda. Yeah, so right there.
So it doesn't happen near as much anymore because that's just a product of downloading stuff now, and there's no physical copies anymore. But when that happened, that was a rabbit hole for sure.
Joker's Wild brought up, how dare you mention this? Your computer locks up on disc 7 of 8. Yeah. Oh my god! Jeez. Disc read error. Fuck
yeah. There goes an hour.
And you're fucked. You're fucked. Yeah. There's no way. You're done.
And then you just pray it works the second time. You wipe off the disc and make sure there's not any dust or scratches.
Fun times. Not really. My last one on my list was, and goes hand in hand with that, is just purchase research. If I'm about to do a major purchase of something, and usually the things that fall under this category are things like, like my 3D printer, because I was fascinated with trying to get one. Not that I thought I was going to get one, but it was okay. Well, I think it's time to buy a new television.
Oh, jeez.
That was at least 2 weeks worth of research. comparing and
Oh, easily.
I buy a TV every, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. So it's like, if I'm going to spend money on this thing, I want it to be, it doesn't have to be top of the line. I don't want the top of the line. I don't want bottom. I want something in the middle that does everything I want to do. And yeah. So, but researching like purchases, I can waste so much time. And I've heard there are multiple studies on this, but they're like kind of, there's always two types of people. And there's the type of people who are happier with the decisions in front of them. And then there are the people who are happier with the decision that is made. I'm the latter. Like, it stresses me out having all these decisions. Like, I have to narrow something down to like 2 or 3 as quickly as possible. And I feel stressed until I go, nope, that's the one I'm getting. And then it's like this weight's been lifted. But it's that I put myself through it every single time doing research on what it is I'm going to buy, whether it be, especially, and it tends to mostly be, computer based or, technology based. So, yeah. But yeah,
Well,
that's
you're
one of the rabbit holes.
usually blowing several hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on one item.
Exactly.
So
Nothing pisses me off more than doing research, making a decision, buying something, and then a week later seeing something else.
Oh,
and
yes.
going
processors are the worst about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, the most thing that I've ever spent in or just time in researching are monitors. Holy shit.
Yeah, monitors.
So many variables. Holy hell.
Yeah, how many milliseconds response is that?
Shit, and everyone's got their own. Well, it's really all about the refresh rate, or it's all about. It's like, okay. Well,
one of the worst experiences I ever had was I was what was it? I think it was grad. No, yeah, that's what it was. It was when I finished my associate's degree. My dad was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna buy you a nice television," and I think, I don't know if I've told this story on the show before. Si knows this story. We had narrowed it down between 2 televisions, and one had 3-layer digital filtering, and the other one had 4-layer analog filtering. And I'm like, okay, well, there's 3 of one and 4 of the other, but you'd think digital would be better than analog. So I was like, okay. So we literally went to the store, went to Best Buy, and I was asking, they had both of the models there, and I was asking the salesperson, I was like, so which one, this one has this, brother, can you explain this? And he just went, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick him up and throw him through something.
You're supposed to know these things.
Exactly.
This is why they pay you.
Yeah, so.
It's like you guys were speaking gibberish just then.
I know.
I'm sorry.
That's
a rabbit hole.
Okay.
By the way, you got blasted a little bit in the chat room saying you were nerd shaming coming from someone who was looking for the perfect pair of overall shorts.
I don't nerd shame. That's not a thing.
Anyway, let's get move on to our.
Oh shit! Was she nerd-splaining to us?
Oh,
She was
Lord.
nerd-splaining.
What's that feel like? Sucks, doesn't it?
I wouldn't know.
Let's
Doesn't
move on to
bother
our
me.
picks and pans for the week. Would anyone like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, what you got, Lainey?
Okay, so my my pick is alleged, but I'm still gonna pick it. Is Beyonce trading Coachella to go on a baby moon with Jay-Z and Bora Bora? I just appreciate that about her.
Okay,
Wait,
that was
say
all
that
gibberish to me.
one
I
more
was gonna say,
time.
did anybody understand that?
That was like us.
Beyonce.
That was like us talking about the TV.
Yeah.
Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter.
Which is a
Wife.
human. Yes.
This is a human musician.
Well, we're gonna get to why I said that later because you said Chanel.
I got
is that a
to- I got
person
to-
or an object?
I got through 3 names and I blanked
Yeah.
out. I'm sorry.
Beyonce,
Okay,
Okay.
trying.
goddess of the universe.
Just say Beyonce.
Okay.
Also wife to Jay-Z.
Yeah, we know who Beyonce is.
Right.
Okay, I'm just
Uh-huh.
making sure.
Okay.
So she's pregnant with twins right now.
Right.
And she was originally announced to play Coachella, which is a very stupid music festival that happens out in the desert, and a lot of rich Beverly Hills kids have their parents pay an assload of money so they can go out there and take selfies with Kylie Jenner, is basically what it has turned into. Nobody actually goes out there anymore to like listen to music and like
Listen to Radiohead because they headline every single time.
every fucking time. But it's just not like Coachella has kind of turned into like a parody of itself, basically.
It's like a fashion show. Who can wear the most ridiculous thing?
Exactly. And for somebody who like actually enjoys music and really enjoyed the festivals that I have gone to because they were just like chill and awesome, I just think it's fucking stupid. And I love that Beyonce pulled out of doing Coachella and is like, I'm gonna go to Bora Bora with my husband instead. I just appreciate that about her. I think it's kind of cool.
Pulling out as in she was scheduled to play and then
she was scheduled to play and she said, and she's like, sorry, I'm pregnant, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, so they asked her, or she was already scheduled?
I don't even know if she was technically scheduled, honestly.
I think she was kind of
I think she was.
she was scheduled.
No, I think what it was is she was rumored to do it, and then when it came out that she was pregnant, she definitely wasn't going to do it. No, that is exactly what happened, because I remember a lot of fans were like, well, I'm going to get my Coachella tickets now. And now they all feel like dumbasses because she's not going.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's
I thought Eugene was silently screaming a second ago, but I guess he was
Johnny.
yelling.
My apologies, it's late.
Anyway, I just appreciate that about her. I love that she traded going to Coachella to go to Bora Bora instead with her husband. Was like, fuck it. That's stupid. I'm pregnant. I'd rather go do something that I actually enjoy. I love that.
Pregnant, that's everything.
Yep.
Seriously.
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Fuck everybody else.
Also, that was just a random pick that I came up with. But my actual pick is I finally watched Moana. Finally.
Did you love it?
I really loved it. Like I really, really, really loved it.
Every time stuff about it.
Oh, it's so good. Every time I hear the songs, I get chills.
Same.
Every time.
I've had the soundtrack like on repeat. I was running to it at the gym this morning. Like I love it. It was just really good. They genuinely did a great job. And I want more movies like this. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So really great characters, great story, great music. It was beautifully done. It was awesome. I loved it. I will probably watch it a billion more times. It was so good.
Watch Film Theory's take on Moana.
Really?
Super, super good. You'll like it. It's actually really well done.
Okay. Yeah. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Parker's looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris, what's your pick or pan for the week?
Okay. My pick is, I have a couple. So Shameless, because I talked about it earlier. I just really like it. So I'm watching the US one right now. I'm almost on season 6. So I got one more season, and then I'm going to watch the UK one because it's on Netflix. And then yesterday was just really beautiful. It was actually a really nice spring day. It was like 17 degrees out or something like that. It was sunny and there was no snow on the ground anymore. And so we just hung outside for like a couple of hours, and I actually laid down on our rock beach and just let the sun be on my face. It was like there's no clouds. It was beautiful. The water sounded great. And the kids were playing together. And then we watched the Last Jedi trailer with the kids. So that was pretty fun to watch them watch that and see their reactions and hear what they thought about it. And then my pan is this holiday. I don't like Easter. I think it's stupid because I am not a religious person. If I was religious, my sister's religious, my family's religious, and it's important to them. And it was important when I was a kid. You go to church and it's a big deal. But we are not a religious family. So for us, it's kind of pointless. I kind of don't like it because it's just a lot of candy, a lot of chocolate. I get a gut ache, and that's kind of the only reason why we do it. It's like Valentine's Day here. We don't celebrate. It's kind of stupid.
Valentine's Day is really stupid.
I hate Valentine's Day. Ray, the last thing Ray ever got me was in 2001.
I kind of enjoyed Valentine's Day when I wasn't a teacher, simply because it was an excuse for me to bake cute stuff and decorate. And now I fucking hate it because it just means that I have to go to work and my kids are hopped up all day long and constantly worried about their fucking Valentine's boxes and getting to the party at the end of the day. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking holiday.
So Easter's not, I had to, so Easter's kind of, and my daughter she's figured everything out. So for her.
I love her.
Yeah, She figured it out last year, but it's kind of fun for her because then she gets to keep the secret and be in on it. But still, I'm not looking forward to it tomorrow. I just
Yeah,
I'm being
it
a
doesn't
curmudgeon.
really do
Is
anything.
the real reason because it's taking away from your viewing of?
Oh,
Shameless,
Yes.
a little bit.
Can't watch Shameless. Yeah.
Can't watch Shameless with my kids
She's
around.
like, "Come on, let's go. Take care of the
Yeah,
rabbits."
It was
go
lots
find
of
the
fun
Easter
when-
bunny. Mama's gotta watch another
We're
episode.
gonna go outside. It's not ready.
Oh, there's eggs outside. Bye.
Bye.
They go outside and literally everything is just in one big pile. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
look, well,
Yeah.
we're done."
Chris just like took the basket, flung it around in the air, and just went back inside.
No, she literally just piled it all together, so
Yeah.
it's like a 5-second affair. She's like, "All right, well, we're done. Let's.
All
Mommy's
right.
got to go. Bye."
Happy Easter.
is Shameless
I
ruining
have
your
stuff
life?
to do.
And it's called Shameless.
Are you experiencing shameless withdrawal rage?
Yeah.
Oh my
Little bit.
god.
Cyrus, do you have a pick or pan for the week?
I have 2 picks.
All right, what you got for us?
First, the announcement was made that the Nintendo Switch had the second best American launch of any game console of all time.
Yep.
Wow.
It killed it.
Only second to the PlayStation 4.
Which you can't beat that. I mean, you're in good company.
Pretty amazing. I was pretty blown away by that. This is what I was trying to convey to you the other day, and I said it wrong when I said that the Switch had sold more than the Xbox One. What I was trying to tell you was at launch,
Okay.
the Switch had sold more at launch than the Xbox One sold at its launch.
Okay, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think was the biggest reason it sold? Was it because the actual Switch or because of the Zelda game that was the flagship?
Well, I don't think you can really separate those two things. I think the way it was marketed at launch, those two things were very connected. In fact, here's another fucking interesting thing. The attach rate for Zelda was announced, and it was more than 100%.
Then that actually sold, yeah. So if
they said
if they didn't
the reason
sell that, would people have really cared enough about the Switch to buy it?
well, all I can tell you is this illustrates how critically important it is to have
A flagship?
yes.
Well, look at
Yes.
Xbox. The only reason people gave a shit about Xbox is because Halo Combat Evolved. If it wasn't for that, Xbox would have just been the third place console in the console wars.
Right. So that's my first one.
What's your second one?
My second one would obviously be Lord Sting, Lord of the Dance. How does
Yes.
it-
Can we pay you to actually do that?
Yes, for $1,000, Cyrus
$1,000.
That's a fourth tier Patreon.
Cyrus will perform the entire Lord of the Dance
Routine.
With accent as well.
With accent.
Yeah.
and
It's gonna be
costume.
Scottish because that's the one he knows how to do.
Yep. Well,
Yes, and trust me, if I can get my legs up that high, I will do it.
you wouldn't be doing this for a living.
Watching those dancers or like listening to them dance makes my feet hurt. Because when you hear like how like loudly like they like
My ankles.
Kick
It
the
makes my
Yeah.
ankles hurt.
Yeah, they at downtown Disney, or I guess Disney Springs it's called now. They have an Irish restaurant called Raglan Road, and like they let the step dancers like come out and like they bring their boards and everything with them like out in front of the restaurant to like draw people in, and it sounds fucking terrifying. Like at first I was like, is that like construction? Like what's going on? No, it was the step dancers like just making their feet bleed on plywood. It was awful.
Well, the funny thing is,
it just made me sad.
the funny thing is, I don't think Sting's music really goes with this
It
type of
doesn't.
dancing,
He's gonna
does
do a
it?
slow, sensual
Tantric.
tantric. There it is.
Somebody was gonna say it.
We all know
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean,
That's what he's
All
saying.
right, for $1,000, you got it. You got it, people.
All right.
If you can pick it, we don't even have Patreon, so it won't happen. But if we did have Patreon,
Beautiful. You requested it,
$1,000.
and we heard you loud and clear.
Parker,
if
do
you
you
get
have
to
a,
that level, there's like different levels. That's
Yeah.
that's a pretty high level.
Parker, do you have a pick or pan?
I sure do. The trailer for Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
So,
Oh, you mean Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Actually, it's
Well-
called As Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you.
As-
yes, Guardians of the
Oh, I thought it
Ragnarok
was
3.
called Thor and Hulk Buddies Forever.
So, so my background into the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, I saw the first Captain America, I saw the first Thor, and I said, okay, that's all I need to watch.
That's
I
enough of
think.
that. That's exactly what I said.
So, and then I watched Age of Ultron because I figured that's the only one that really mattered. And then this came out, and I got to see the Hulk, but Gladiator Hulk. And my first thought was, are we going into Planet Hulk? Like, is this where we're going with all of this?
A little bit, yeah.
And I said, okay, so we have Planet Hulk, we have She-Hulk possibly, because I mean we're in that world now, right? So he goes and has to beat up all the other Hulk people and random creatures. And then we see She-Hulk, and then the Hulk comes down to Earth and wants to kill everybody because he's super pissed off that we left him there. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that.
So I was the most excited, and I think this might actually bring me back to watching another movie where Thor is the main character. Even
So
though
you want to see all that? You want to see?
I predicted this like 5 years ago, and I cannot believe it actually happened because I thought it was too far-fetched to actually happen. And yet here we are after a
Well, if the Fast and Furious can be superheroes, then
oh fuck
the
that whole
superheroes could be.
Yeah, I hate those movies. Are so asinine. I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, I couldn't believe that we're actually going to go to Planet Hulk. That is super, super fun to me.
Pretty cool.
I mean, we're in a world now where we had a major motion picture of Doctor Strange. So anything can happen.
Dude, I can't wait to go watch a movie in a couple of weeks where there's a talking raccoon.
There's that too.
And I'm down
Yeah.
for it.
That makes me really happy.
Oh.
Anyway, so that's my pick. I am excited for. I want to see more Hulk beating people up. He is my favorite superhero. I want to see more of him.
I love the Hulk.
Just start smashing shit, bro. Like, that's all I want to see.
Good deal.
I want to see a good Hulk movie finally.
That one with
me too.
Joker said that one with Ed Norton. That one I actually thought was okay. I thought
No, I hated that one.
It was better than the first one.
Yeah, the first one was really
Well,
bad. With
the
Eric
first
Bana
one-
or whoever
yeah,
was
the
in that first one.
Modern one, I guess. Not
Why
what-
did you hate the one that Edward Norton did?
Just didn't like it.
It was okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
I
liked
didn't
it.
like it.
Of course, I'm a big Tim Roth fan, because
Oh, yeah. Well, I liked it, and then I saw the new Hulk. I was like, oh, well, he's obviously much better. So
well, I think what's his name that's doing the Hulk now?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark,
Yeah, he's really
Okay.
good. Like he's really,
Yeah.
really good.
he should be he's de facto Hulk now. I think.
Because he does both sides of it perfectly.
Yes, and they actually kind of delve into the character.
Into
Shocker,
Dr.
and
Bruce
people
Banner.
actually care.
About
they-
Dr. Banner.
Yeah, when they know the backstory of a character, they actually feel like an emotional attachment to it. Weird how that works out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I actually had 3 picks for the week. The first one was
Holy hell.
Thor Ragnarok because that trailer was so flipping awesome. I can't tell you how many times I watched it, and of course, the scene where he's like, "Yes," that's just I'm so
That
down
was
for
cute.
that. The second one dropped yesterday, and that is the trailer for The Last Jedi. So many emotions and thoughts.
Am I the only one that was underwhelmed? From
Obviously,
haven't
yes,
watched
you
it
were
yet,
because
so
the
I'll
rest
let
of the
you know.
internet fucking loved it.
Yeah, but do they love it because they loved it?
Shut
or
up,
do they love
Lainey.
it
Shut up,
because
Lainey.
it's Star
Don't.
Wars?
You're gonna get hatred. Shut up.
Uh-oh.
and some of it may come from me. No, it looked fantabulous. And the last one that I had was actually just happened 3 hours or so ago. I got an email from Thingiverse, and it came up and said someone wanted to try to leave you a tip, but they couldn't because you don't have your PayPal account hooked up. And I was like, huh? Wait, what? That's a thing? So sure enough, I checked into it, and I did not know this. Like on Thingiverse, going back to one of my earlier picks, you can actually leave designers tips. So like, you know, if you basically everything on Thingiverse is free to download. So it's literally just saying, hey, I really like your work. You know, here's a tip. You know, for
like a Patreon
for your work. Yeah. But
This is the
that blew me
Patreon
away.
episode.
Like, I don't care if it was $1. I mean, and I don't care the fact that I lost it. It's the fact that, number one, I learned about this, and I'm like, oh, man, I need to go back and there's some,
How much
there's
money-
some designers
how much
I'd
money
like to
was it?
tip. What?
How much money was it?
I have no idea. Because it didn't go through. But
we'll never know.
it honestly, it doesn't matter to me. It was just the fact that someone liked something that I designed enough to say, hey, here, you know, good job, and was willing to give me even $1. I'm like,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's like, that blows me away. So like, I'm literally going to go back and start looking at some of the design work that I've downloaded and that I thought was really good and you know, drop some money on these people because, you know, if it hit me like that, I would love to, you know, share that type of joy with someone. Because I mean, most of these people are just putting stuff out there, you know, whether it's designed really well or not, you know, they're still like, hey, I made this. You might like to make it too. Here it is. And like, that's awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
But all right, so that is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please, if you're listening on YouTube, on iTunes, please give us please give us a 5-star rating. It definitely helps out. Also, if you're on iTunes, please leave a review because once you get to a certain amount of reviews, it helps, like, you know, start going into their calculus as to, you know, what shows they promote and everything. And then, of course, same thing on Stitcher or Google Music if you're listening there as well. If you're watching the show on YouTube, we do the show. We pretty much move the show to 9:00 on Saturday evenings. We do it live, as you can hear. We have a chat room, which is really awesome. So, you know, jump in and you know, be part of the chat. You can check out our other shows. We just recently had. We're actually going to be recording our new episode of the Marginally Geeky Book Club here in a couple of weeks. We're doing Felicia Day's book.
You're never weird on the internet.
Yeah, speaking of which, she's on the new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Just dropped, and I've watched about the first 30 minutes of the first episode, and someone in the chat mentioned somewhere on one of those episodes they do either a riff or something on Stranger Things, and I'm like, oh my god, if they do if they do Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Stranger Things, I'm gonna like lose my shit. But and then definitely check out the Epic Rhythm and Brews show. The last one they did was really good. Had a really good topic. We're gonna be stealing it for an episode later on.
Wait, what was our topic? I forgot what it was.
Our topic was bands that you've broken up with.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a good topic.
That was a good one.
Sai, will we be getting a game rambling tomorrow, or are y'all taking the day off?
No, it's Easter. We're not doing you know, there's more important things, you know.
Totally.
Eating chocolate bunnies.
Eating and family and eating.
Okay.
And
And eating, but not eating family. And then and then I've got my new show that hopefully should drop this week. I'm really busting my ass to try to get a new episode out of Epically Geeky Makers. If you like, one of the and I really thought someone was going to bring this up. Nintendo announced this week that they're no longer making the NES Classic, and if
you son of a bitch, why did you bring it up again?
And if you don't want to drop the $300 that scalpers are wanting for it right now,
get it now, because in 2 months it'll be $1,000.
Or no, it already is in some areas. Like Sai sent a picture.
Oh, is it? Shit.
If you're not willing to drop that kind of money on it, check out our channel. I may have an alternative for you later this week. I'll just leave it at that. So, and then of course you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Speaking of which, where can we find you on the internet, Cyrus Martin?
Yeah, just look for at Cyrus Martin on Twitter, and that's where I'm tweeting.
Yes, that would be the term.
Broadcasting from?
On Twitter, yes, that's where you tweet.
Lainey, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at It's a Lainey Bird. You can also find me over on the Marginally Geeky podcast, as well as Epic Rhythm and Brews. And we should have a new episode coming out for you guys here pretty soon.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, and I have a pen. Thanks for reminding me, Ryan. Fuck you, Sean. You ruined everything for us with the NES Mini.
We're going to have to talk a little bit about that after the show. Chris,
Somebody commented on that. They thought it was serious.
I know. I saw that, and I was going to ask you about that. Chris, where can we find you online?
On this podcast and on the Marginally Geeky podcast and on Instagram at the Lake Life, which is the.lake.life.
I love hearing her say that, too. That's all.
Right.
It's the same every
soothing.
time.
It's melodic. It's da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Do one more time.
That
Do
rhythm
one more time.
is perfect.
For
Percussion.
$2.
It's like Swedish.
For $2, Chris will say that one more time.
Parker, where can we
Why
not
do I
find
feel
you?
like all the Patreon is just getting
You can find me on this show, on the Marginally Geeky show, and you can also find me on the Epic Rhythm and Brew show,
Absolutely.
and on epicallygeeky.com.
And, of course, you
and
can...
possibly laser lighting targets that may or may not have Moabs dropped on.
Yeah, and if you see your friend or someone next to you fall over and their head explodes, but you don't hear a sound, that's because of me. You're dead before you hear the shot.
There you go.
I was going to say it was definitely not because of Parker.
Definitely not
because of Parker.
Nope.
And you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on this site, have